back again with a poem, and this poem talks about a lady who's been married and she has had a very bad experience in her marriage life. Okay, so yes, you guessed the name right. The name of the poem is Aunt Jennifer's Tiger. Fine. So it has been written by a female poet, and her name is Adrienne Rich. Some people call her Adrienne, which is also right, but according to the right pronunciation, it would be Adrienne because there is double N. So N sound would little elongate. So that's the reason why we call it Adrienne. Fine. So before starting the poem, in order to understand it properly, we have to know the background of the writing, right? So let's go to the background. So if we look into the background, then Adrienne Rich, she is a very profound writer in English. She was born in America, and yes, she was a feminist. And in lots and lots, in most of her works, what we see is she is talking about the rights of a lady. She wants the same dignity as a man. Not just she wants all the women to experience that. Fine. So now mostly in her writings, what we see is a feminist. Feminist. If I have to explain you what feminism is, then I already told you that it is talking about the rights of a lady, status of a lady. What happens is, most of the people across the world live in a patriarchal kind of a society, family, wherein wants, desires of a lady is always overlooked or underlooked. So, seeing this kind of situation, Adrienne Rich came up with a solution, and it was she did not fight physically, but she started to write the works which would inspire and influence all the rights and freedoms that a woman deserved in the society. So now, having told you this, now if we dive into the poem, then it would be easier for us to understand. So I will read it, and then I will explain you what actually the poem is trying to say us, or what message does it have to convey us. So let's go it. So as you see, it will be better if I show you here. So it's here, you can see it here, and I'm reading here. Aunt Jennifer's tiger prance across a screen. So here in the first line, what we see is Aunt Jennifer's tiger prance across a screen. Here the word P-R-A-N-C-E, prance. Prance means a jumping moment, a springing moment, usually seen in a horse. Fine. So prance moment, this actually indicates happily and freely here. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen means he is jumping, the tiger is jumping from here to there, happily and independently. Bright topaz dozens of a world of green. Here what it means is everything is green, bright topaz. Topaz is a shiny jewelry kind of stone. It is mostly seen, it is yellow in color mostly it is yellow in color, and it has been used as a metaphor because topaz means the stripes of a tiger, which is always yellow in color, and dozens, it means the inhabitant person or a thing or an animal which lives in a particular place. Fine. So here it means bright topaz means bright yellow color of tiger, and tiger lives in the green. Fine. So the background is green, and the tiger is jumping from one place to the other without any hesitation, without any disturbance, without any fear. Tiger is independent and strong. This proves. Fine. So let's move on to the third line. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. Here, why men is written? Actually, tiger. If the tiger is there, then the poet was supposed to write humans, right? Why has it been written men? Because tiger means tiger is associated with feminism in this poem, and tiger does not fear men, and that is the reason why it is jumping from one place to the other. And in this poem, what we see is tiger directly associates to the mind of our poet, or you can call her Aunt Jennifer in the poem. Clear? So let's move forward. They pace in slick, chivalric certainty. They pace in slick, chivalric certainty. Fine? So pace means to move along. We all know that. Slick, smooth movement. Chivalric means heroic or bravery. This word was mostly used in medieval. So, and certainty means truly I believe. Fine. So now what we see is the tiger's movement is smooth. Tiger is not afraid. He's moving because he wants to move, or she wants to move. Fine. And her movements are heroic as well as truly heroic. The knights in the medieval period were chivalric. Fine. So this means they were truly heroic, and in this context means tiger does not fear any man. It is free and it doesn't move because you want it to move, but it moves because it wants to move. Okay, so this is kind of simple. In the first paragraph, what we come to know is Aunt Jennifer has a tiger which is living in green, means a jungle which is free, and it is jumping from one place to the other without any fear of men here. Okay, men, don't forget men, and its movements are his own or her own, and the tiger does not fear anyone, and his movements are compared to a movement of a knight. Okay, so we will move to the second paragraph, and in the second paragraph, what we see, I'll read it for you. You can see it there. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. That means now this line, okay, let me explain this line first. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering. Fluttering means it's kind of a shaky. It's not strong. Fine? When you are knitting something, your hands need to be strong. But here what we see, Aunt Jennifer's hands are fluttering. This means it's shaky. Maybe she is uncomfortable. Right? When somebody is uncomfortable, their hands seem to be fluttering. So we'll move on forward. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Now she's sewing up something with the wool and needle, and she's so much uncomfortable that she is finding hard to pull even a ivory needle. So this proves that Aunt Jennifer is not comfortable. She's afraid of something near her. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band. Here, massive means big, huge, heavy. Weight means heaviness. Uncle's wedding band means band. We have several bands. Wristband, right? But here, band doesn't mean wristband. Band means a circular thing, and that is in auntie's finger. Marriage ring. The poet is talking here about marriage ring. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band. This means auntie is not happy with her marriage. This proves auntie is not happy with the marriage. Maybe she had a bad experience of a marriage because Aunt Jennifer lives in a patriarchal society. Maybe her husband is bossy. He comes, asks for a tea, and a tea is offered. He sips it. What is this? Make a new tea. A new tea comes. No, there's no sugar. Come on, give me another cup of tea. Maybe that kind of bossy, right? So Aunt Jennifer lives in that kind of a society where husband dominates. Maybe aunt also has a dream. She wants to share it to her husband, but she fears because she lives in a patriarchal family, a society where the desires and wants and interests of the lady is always overlooked or underlooked, or you can say ignored. Fine? So the last line of the second paragraph is sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hands. Now see, marriage ring is never too heavy, but for aunt it is too heavy, and this is because Before marriage, maybe the Aunt Jennifer was Papa Ki Pari, right? She was free, but after marriage, maybe she is confined to the four walls of a house. All she has to do is wait for her husband, and sometimes her husband turns up late and she has to be hungry. When will my husband come and I'll start eating? Maybe that's the thing going. And sometimes maybe husband comes with a bad mood and he starts abusing and slapping his wife. And she can't do anything because she lives in a patriarchal society where boys dominate, where thoughts and interests of men dominate the interests and thoughts of a lady. Okay, so we will move on to the last paragraph, and I'll explain you after. I'll explain you what happens here. You can see it here. I'll read it from here. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Fine. Here, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. Here, ordeals means bad experience of her marriage. Fine. When auntie is dead, her hands lie, but even now, her husband's ring is still in her hand. This means even after her death, her body is not free. It is still the property of her husband. Wherein her husband wants her to be buried, she has to be buried, and if her husband wants the body to be burnt, it has to be burnt. If her husband thinks this has to be frozen, then it will be frozen. Her hands lie. She is no more there, but the body belongs to her husband. Fine. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Panel means a flat or a curved surface on a wall. Sometimes what we do is we use decorative wallpapers or a painting or a frame, right? So here what it says is Aunt Jennifer's tigers, which Aunt Jennifer should, like the tigers that Aunt Jennifer was showing in the start, it is now still jumping and playing around without any fear. Fine. So moral of the story, and let me tell you what is happening here actually. Aunt Jennifer is swinging a decorative tiger, and this tiger is nothing but Aunt Jennifer's mind. Fine. Aunt Jennifer could not be a lion in her real life, but she wanted to be like the tiger, which is jumping from here to there, from there to here, everywhere, without fear of men. Because in her reality, she is living in a society where she is supposed to be afraid of men. Fine? And what happens in the last is, yes, Aunt Jennifer is dead because she was born and raised up and married in a patriarchal society, but her tigers are not so. Her tigers are made in an open space where there is no society, like patriarchal society there. It doesn't exist in jungle. So her tigers are free from all the social evils of the society. So take care, have a nice day. If you did not understand this properly, then do leave me a comment, and if this was helpful even then, please don't leave a comment so that I will be inspired, or if you see faults in me, then I will try to improve. Take care, have a nice day.